Okay, let's get started. That was rough. I went and tweaked some settings. I got a new video camera over the break, and I got a new background, some new lighting to try and spruce things up. And my screen wasn't showing. Hopefully, my face is a little bit brighter and not so dark. So we started off with this EventMeetup app, and we started working around with multi-tenancy. And I spent the last couple of days, actually, honestly, since last Tuesday, about 3, 4, 5 hours every day, trying to get the next part working, which was the subdomains, and I couldn't get that to work. So I decided, like this morning, that I would convert it to an MVC app because I was doing some research, and it might make sense for us to do it in MVC only because of the way we handle the subdomains or short names. So just before we started, I managed to what's the word I'm looking for? I managed to go and convert it to an MVC app by essentially deleting it and adding it as or creating a new one. So I think I got everything right. The only thing I have to do is the startup to register the new stuff. So luckily I have a lot of that in here. Is this the old one? Nope, this is the old one. I was playing around with different things like tenant and stuff like that I couldn't get to work. So I'm leaving that for now. Let me just copy the startup. So it's this and this need to be there. I think that was here in the services. Yes, I'll enter. And then in the configure, add one more item. Why are you showing? This is all just playing around stuff that I wanted to show. I think I'll just copy this and the use tenant middleware piece we need. I'll comment out the to be right around here. And this, we're going to want to change the routes or fix it. So I'm just going to keep this here as a reference for what the URLs need to look like, or at least the way I want them to look. So let's do this, make sure it all works. And I put that in the wrong spot. It's important that it goes after ease routing, which we learned last week. So now I should be good. Let's make sure you build. There's no red squiggly lines there. It built. If this works correctly, let's go to our middleware and just put a breakpoint here to make sure it's still working the way we intended it to. Oh, I forgot to delete the old configurations. Let's delete these two that are not being. Delete you. Delete you. Leave this is the one we're going to want to run. So let's click OK. Run the one with event, or not Express the projects. The ISS Express doesn't work because of the way Writer recreates the app config that IIS Express uses. So I'm just going to skip that for now. We should hit a breakpoint here and see local hosts in the host name, which we do right here. So that's good. Let's go back here. All right, play first, play. And we should see our basic page. Where are you? Basic page. So next thing to make sure the middleware piece is working is let's change this URL. Now I didn't get it to work with HTTPS, but I can figure that out. VP, WWMVP, Summit Events Info. Huh. I didn't see it. Oh, I know why. It's part of the startup. So I have to register those as valid sites here. So let's go into the launch settings. So I don't have to recreate them. Actually, I can open it up in editor and just copy the one that's here, which should be, where did I put it? I think it's here. Oh, where'd it go? Thought it was there. Anyway, I could just edit it here. And then this, we want HTTP. And then MVP Summit events.info, HTTP, TechEd events.info. These are the two domains that we are going to be using. Let's hit save and then debug it. Once we get this popping up here, fail to bind already in use. What? Let's see what it's set to. I had this problem last time and I thought that was it. This is the old one. Let's go in the source, EventMeetups, properties. So I'm just going to copy out this guy here. Paste them to there. I'm just curious to see what the difference was. Oh. Interesting. Oh, I wonder if it's because I had the TechEd events in there and I can't do that twice. Maybe that was what we discovered. So let's go here. And primary profiles, open editor, save. I don't know why this is not showing an X. Showing an X now. Selected profile not found. Be there. I did put it there, right? This is the new folder structure. Let's see what this looks like. That open. That's the right file. Let's just do this. Because I overwrote it while I had it open and it's all confused now. Here's the file. Control A, Control V, Control. Huh. It doesn't. No, it's there. Why? EventMeetups.webui. What's this property name? EventMeetups.webapi. Oh, for some reason this dialog box is not liking it, although I can play it right from here. Oh well. So it should say localhost now. It says localhost, so I can hit play. Come back here. Do MVP Summit Events info. Hit enter. Host name should be that as we see here. MVP Summit Events info, or down here. So that's good. So the only other thing I want to do is go and let's just change the layout so that shows, and we're just going to take this tenant name and populate it in the layout just to know that which one we're working on. Probably wouldn't do this at home. We're going to pull in values and everything else outside of that. So let's go into our views and then shared, and then view title. And here we are going to grab the context items and tenant, just to show it. I should just be able to rerun it. Where are you? Play. Take away that breakpoint now. Okay, let's stop and restart it so that the compiled HTML will show the new name since we're using this context. Maybe not. Oh, interesting. Did I not save the page? Oh, that's the title of the page, not the other part. You're probably seeing the title, but not where I wanted it, which is right here. So let's do this so we know where it's from. Just refresh the page here. So we can probably zoom in here. You can see that the MVP Summit Events info is there. have to restart the app one more time. And now it says localhost. If I refresh this one, it says MVP. Good. So now we're getting the host that we're the host that we're using. Now we're going to want to get the domain, because the next thing really for us to do is this part / events. This should be the equivalent of going to events without the MVP 2018, but we need the MVP 2018 to know what sub-event it is, because right now, move over a little bit, because right now we have this short name that indicates where it is. So you can have a master domain or main conference that has a domain name and short name, and then ancillary ones, ancillary events to it. So let's go. I don't need you so big. Definitely don't need you so big. Let's go and take a look at the controllers. So I had these services. We're going to start using them in a little bit, but essentially it's a web service that goes out and calls this. Since we have our API there, we don't want to reference it directly. We're just going to go through the API. So I built this little service to go through and pull that data in. But we're not going to use that right now. Let's do here. And I want to create a new controller. And let's call it the events. It's one part I really don't like, that I have to go and create all these views. I know that there's an easier way to do it, but I always forget what it is. Create a new folder first. Call it events. And then let's just do a basic index. And I think it's just let's see what these are. Just a razor page to it. So oh, it's still running. I was wondering what that little bug looking guy was. Let's just use ReSharper to do it for me. Create razor view with index layout. Model dynamic title all events. Okay, now let's model our controller. So I think we're gonna have to go and start up here and change this default to, let's set a different controller now. So we want events. There might be a better way to do this. I don't know how to do that. So we are going to do short name / controller. And I think that would work. So the way for us to test that is to come here and events, and I'm going to breakpoint here. So if this works correctly, let's hit play. Still got to fix something with the lights. I'm getting a nice shining on my head. So if I get this correctly, I should be able to, well, let's do the MVP one because we're going to use that one more. MVP summit events.info. This is probably going to fail because the HTTPS seems to not work. Yeah, for some reason doesn't recognize it. I'll figure out how to fix that. So this didn't recognize what to do. So let's do this. So it got that. So I have to somehow fill in the default for that. But what I really want is to take a look at the request context. So let me pull this bad boy up a little bit. See if it's showing on the screen. The font's kind of small. Can zoom in a little bit. Nope, can't do it in that way. Can't do it that way. But I just like expand it all. So it's something. I don't want connection, don't want features, don't want from, don't want that. Already got the context. Items. I want is the route. It's just coming. Oh, miss it. It's request route. Request. Then route values. Expand this. Cool. So I got the short name. I got the event. So this is what we really want because that I can then translate into something else. I should be able to get to do context items. Somewhere in here. Context items. There's a lot in there, but I can still see the tenant. So that gives me enough to get where I want to be. Because now if I have the if I have the tenant ID and the short name, I can then use that to actually have, and then I could list the events. So that's good. Sorry, all of a sudden I got the hiccups. So what do we want to do now? Let's see if I can fix that routing here. I think there's something I can do with the route right here. I don't know if this is the preferred approach to do it. What do I call it? It's, I think. see if that works. Once we figure this out, I'll set the start page to be just this so you don't have to see me typing all the time. No, that still didn't work. But if I do events, well, that didn't work either. Oh, so I broke it with that convention. Boop, boop, bop, 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 bop. Let's see what the URL should look like. Okay. SV.com route templates. There's a lot for it in the MVC, but not a lot in the Razor pages. Conventional rarely uses typically controllers and views. Yeah, that's what we have set. Yeah, try that, Rick. Try Rick Stahl again. Probably. Anderson. Yeah, that's the default one, but I want my special one. We already got that. Multiple conventional routes. Blog pattern. Oh, maybe I need to do defaults for it. Let's try that. Where's my startup? Defaults. Got syntax ready. New controller. Controller equals events, comma, action equals index. See if that matches up with the syntax here. New controller equals events, action, article. Cool. Let's see if that solves my problem. Get rid of the other part. Let's make sure that I gotta rename this to be events control. Let's take you out. And try it. This works. That'd be cool because then we can really start rewriting the app. Actually, I already have pages open. All right. I want to do this. Nice. Now I get to it. And now I should have the request. So let's do request.route. Route values. And we got the action index, controller events, and the short name is MVP. Good. So one last test I want to do. Let's go and play this. Is without the forward slash. Here. Here. Good. Yep. Came to the right one. Let's make sure I didn't break any of the other ones. So privacy should still work. Homeworks. We are good to go. Awesome. And in under time. That is awesome. So what I'll do over tonight or tomorrow is just put in the other filler pages so that we don't have to keep, rewriting stuff or, watch me do file new. So let's go and take a look at where we are. There you go. Don't need that there now. I can stop the project. I have to rename this. It should be easy. Events controller. And then we'll do the logger and all that other stuff. Cool. Well, thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something. I know I did. We'll be on tomorrow around 6:30 AZ time, which is 6:30 Mountain Time or 8:30 Eastern. Have a great day. Later, Hector.